Sun Tzu is clear. The commander stands for the virtues of wisdom, sincerity, benevolence, courage, and strictness. The general is the bulwark of the state, holds everything together. And he says one of the 5 keys to victory is when an army is animated by the same spirit throughout all its ranks. Unity again. How do you get that? He mentions practical things, using signs, signals, gongs, drums, banners to keep everyone focused, acting as one. He even gets into the psychology, the studying moods, how soldiers are keenest in the morning, flagging by noon, ready to go home by evening. That's deep insight into human nature under pressure. So the question for any leader is, how do you build that kind of unity? How do you get a team, an organization to act as though you were leading a single man willy-nilly by the hand?
That image, leading a single man by the hand, it really captures it, doesn't it? It comes down to consistency and really understanding your people. The commander also needs to know how and when to vary tactics. It's not just about having one plan. And Sun Tzu also warns about the 5 dangerous faults in a general. These are recklessness, cowardice, a hasty temper, being overly concerned with honor, and interestingly, over-solicitude for his men. Too much coddling, maybe. He says these faults lead straight to disaster, destruction, capture, ruin. That's a really important check for any leader. Spotting these potential flaws in yourself or your key people, they're critical vulnerabilities. And what's really interesting is the paradox in how to treat soldiers. He says, treated in the first instance with humanity, but kept under control by means of iron discipline. Yeah, he calls them children, in one sense needing care, but warns against letting them become spoilt children who are basically useless when things get tough. It's that tricky balance between compassion and accountability.
That balance is so hard to get right, but yeah, absolutely crucial. Okay, but maybe the most critical piece for anyone making decisions today is foreknowledge. Knowing what's coming, understanding your opponent or the market or whatever it is before things happen. Sun Tzu is adamant this foreknowledge, it doesn't come from spirits or magic. It's not just crunching numbers or relying only on past experience. He says knowledge of the enemy's dispositions can only be obtained from other men, which leads us straight to intelligence gathering, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Spies, basically. So maybe human intelligence sources sounds better today. He outlines 5 types. Local spies, using inhabitants. Inward spies, using enemy officials. Converted spies, turning enemy agents. Doomed spies, feeding false info. And surviving spies, bringing back intel. He stresses secrecy, being generous with rewards, needing intuition, benevolence, and cleverness in handling them. The converted spy, the one you turn, is seen as especially valuable because they unlock access to the others. Now, obviously, we're not all running spy networks, but the principle is incredibly relevant. How does this apply today? Think about competitive intelligence, understanding market dynamics, navigating complex negotiations or stakeholder politics. It's about proactively seeking out, valuing, and synthesizing information from diverse human sources to get that crucial strategic edge. It's about knowing what's really going on.
We've definitely covered a lot of ground, and I think it's crystal clear that The Art of War is so much more than an old book about battles. It really is a deep philosophical guide to strategic thinking, managing resources wisely, effective leadership, being adaptable, and understanding the human factor in everything, from knowing yourself and your enemy, whatever that is, to the brilliance of winning without fighting, to why intelligence is key. Sun Tzu's ideas feel incredibly fresh, almost shockingly modern sometimes. And for you listening, these aren't just abstract military concepts. They are, I think, universal truths about reaching your goals effectively, efficiently, whether that's in your career, your business, personal projects, even just handling tricky relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. And expanding on that, maybe consider Sun Tzu's really pointed advice near the end. No ruler should put troops into the field merely to gratify his own spleen. No general should fight a battle simply out of pique. That snaps us right back to strategic purpose, doesn't it? It's a warning against letting emotion drive your actions, which is, let's face it, easy to do. So the provocative thought might be, how often do we in our daily lives jump into battles, arguments, conflicts, maybe even business ventures driven by ego, frustration, or just plain pique instead of a clear strategic reason?
Oof, that's a challenging question for sure. What would actually change if we really took that advice? If we only acted when the situation was truly critical and the move was clearly to your advantage? It implies choosing your battles very carefully and maybe, ideally, winning them before they even need to be fought. So what does this all mean for you? Well, next time you're facing a significant challenge, maybe pause and ask, have I thought about the 5 factors? Is there a way to win here without a direct fight? Do I really understand the situation, the other players, and myself? Am I being adaptable like water? That's it for this deep dive into Sun Tzu's The Art of War. We hope it's giving you a shortcut to being well-informed and maybe some surprising perspectives to think about. Until next time, keep diving deep.